Hello, Fantasy Goats. Good evening to you and happy Monday, June 16th. I am your shepherd here, and I hope everybody had a fantastic weekend. To all the dads out there, hope you had a wonderful Father's Day. And now we're back at it, baby. It's that time. It is. We've got a great show for you guys. We're gonna revisit running back rankings, the top 36 running backs. Now, what I want to do, Rhino and Jackson. By the way, we will say hello to these guys, and give me 10 seconds. What I do want to do is I don't want to spend too much time on the top 12. Bijan.
Yeah, I agree.
We know Saquon. We know these guys, and trust me, we'll get back to them too. Or maybe we'll debate a little bit, Bijan or Jahmyr Gibbs. Stay tuned for that, because I believe that we will come up with top player debates show this upcoming Thursday right here on the Fantasy Goats. But again, today we are going to get right into the top 36, kind of pushed forward. We'll kick it off with number 13. I got a nice little soliloquy planned for Mr. Brees Hall. But like I said, let's get to the guys. Let's say hello to the commissioner himself.
How you doing? Good afternoon, evening, everybody. Glad you guys are here. Glad to be back talking football again. I'll talk to myself for so much on the weekends. My dog don't listen to me. She just thinks I'm nuts. So ready.
I told you I want a dog. Because I feel like I'll talk to the dog about what, who we're going to draft, and then I want to train the dog. If it's a good idea, just to give me a bark.
Yeah.
If the dog remains silent, that means that the dog's not in on the player. Now, of course, in a perfect world, I'd have a pet goat. But that's not. I don't think that's legit. I don't think that's legal.
That's probably not allowed where you live at either.
That should not be. That's not legal here where I am at all. No. JX Fantasy, the man, the myth, the absolute legend.
The man with the $1 million laugh.
The $1 million laugh. The man with $1 million takes.
No, like always, man. I'm blessed to be here, fresh off of the 6-year-old birthday party this weekend. So, JX is burnt out physically, but mentally, I'm still here. So, they said we'll get into another great Monday show.
Let's see. What's the total count now till the kickoff? About 80 days, 79 days, I believe.
Something like that.
12 Sundays.
12 Sundays of commercial-free football. All right, guys. Let's get into the top rankings. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. Give this show a like. We are in full gear. Not top end speed yet. We're gonna reserve some. We're gonna leave some in the tank for the season. But we are in full off-season mode. We're going to use Fantasy Pros Expert Consensus Ranking. Again, we should just devote a show just to the top 12, okay? But that's not what I want to do here today. What I really want to do is spend a little bit more time talking about 13, 15, talking about Brees Hall, talking about Kenny Skywalker. Also in this tier is Joe Mixon, James Cook. But in full order, it is Brees Hall, James Cook, Kenny Walker, Joe Mixon. That is the tier starting with ranking number 13. Brees, Lightning, Hall. Do you know that in 2023, he finished RB4?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I do.
He finished RB4 in 2023, and that was with absolute. Well, first, that's during a season, on a season coming off of major knee surgery. Finished RB4 in 2023 with absolute awful quarterback play. I don't want to talk about that. What I do want to talk about is now fast forward to 2024. He did not finish anywhere near that as he was drafted at this time last season. Everyone's like drafting him, just probably right after, drafting him right after CMC, drafting him probably right. Some people may have taken him ahead of Bijan. Some people took Bijan. He was right there in that upper echelon, first round.
Yep.
Now, folks, what happened? I'm going to tell you what happened. And again, it's not quarterback play. It really isn't. He took a step back. If you look at the numbers, they're almost damn identical, almost, to his 2023 campaign. Same amount of touchdowns, about 100 less rushing yards, only about 100 less. One less receiving touchdown, almost about the same amount of receiving yards, and 20 less catches. 20 less catches last season compared to 2023. Why is he ranked 13? Why is his ADP in the third round if the numbers are that close together?
Disappointment. That's all. And I feel like we're going to see that a lot in this list. Like you said, last season he was in the Gibbs Bijan class. He was going right after Christian McCaffrey. And because of disappointment, people don't feel like that he can rebound. And he gets put in the great position. He gets put in a great position, which I like to call the Todd Gurley position. Because if y'all remember, Todd Gurley was the hype of the century after his rookie year. He had one bad season, and then after that, he exploded. I think Brees could be in line to kind of do the exact same thing. He has one down year or one kind of middling year where everyone kind of forgets about him, and you're going to be upset because someone else is going to take him, and he's going to explode right back into the top five.
And think about this, too. You had the fact that you had Braylon Allen and Isaiah Davis. 40 touches from him, too. Plus, their O-line wasn't that good at all. And plus, he was hurt. He was dinged up. So that's going to hurt you, too. Coming off fresh.
You want to...
And the fact that who they have as playmakers. They have freaking Garrett Wilson and Breece Hall right now, pretty much. I mean, there's a lot of talk about Arian Smith and stuff, but he's a rookie. I'm not going to buy into that yet. So you basically have two playmakers. And everything that I've read online about Breece Hall is he's all in, man, and they're all in with him and Garrett Wilson. So he could have a year like he was in 2023.
According to the reports that we have, yes, they are in with Breece Hall, but it's a different all-in. As in, like, they are telling Breece Hall, we want him here, but they are not prepared to work out any contracts or any type of, like, extensions with Breece Hall like they are attempting to do with Garrett Wilson and Sauce Gardner. So there's a little bit of a difference, tiny bit of a discrepancy.
Right.
But I think what we have from Breece Hall is that Aaron Glenn did reach out to Breece himself. Like, no, we have no plans on trading you. Why? Aside from the fact that, like, Breece Hall is absolutely talented, and he's you're not going to get anything remotely close in terms of capital back in return right now for what you have. But it's not a matter of what they have. It is a matter of what they have, but it's also a matter of what they want to do. Let's not forget what they want to do. They want to try to mold this damn thing into like the Lions of the AFC East.
Mm-hmm.
In order to do that, you're going to need a freaking absolutely monster O-line. That's first and foremost. You need that offensive line to work. And then secondly, you're going to need a Thunder and a Lightning. I think Breece Hall, or if I had to bet money on it, Breece Hall would be the Lightning. He's the Jahmyr Gibbs in this thing. And then I would put down on Braylon Allen being the David Montgomery Thunder. It's not a perfect comparison, but I think that's what we're looking at.
Actually, a pretty good comparison.
I think that's what we're looking at here. And again, I want to just circle right back, and then I want to circle right to the GOAT over there. But dude, look, Rhino, we're talking about a 1-game difference, right? 17 and 23, 16 due to lingering injury last season.
Right.
20 less catches between the two. That's a product of the quarterback wanting to throw 400 times to his wide receivers and not his running back, which we believe Justin Fields will have no problem shoveling passes, shoveling. This is going to be an absolute feast for Breece Hall, barring any type of football setback. And I believe this is our GOAT, Commissioner Rhino and JX. I believe this is the GOAT of GOATs right over here. Brent or regional. If it's you, give me a sign. If it's not, then we have a new Brent GOAT. But I believe that's Brent GOAT.
The Colts.
Appreciate you being on.
Do you think the fact that they had Hackett and then who's the other OC when Aaron Rodgers? I mean they fired Hackett. The other OC
wasn't it LaFleur?
No, LaFleur
went to the Rams last season. So it was Hackett. It was OC. Then Hackett got fired by Aaron Rodgers.
So you're asking who the OC was after Hackett?
Yeah, the intern.
Yeah, I mean, I have no clue.
Exactly. So that's part of the problem too.
It was nobody.
Exactly.
Who the hell was it? It was a dead man walking is who it was. I'm surprised Jeff Ulbrich, who, again, is a good coach that was just put into a really bad situation, was able to get another job as a coordinator. But again, no. What I thought you were talking about was who was the OC with Breece Hall's number 4 campaign when he finished in 2023. And wasn't that LaFleur?
Yeah.
Yes, that was LaFleur, yes.
And again, we don't have much on the OC this season. We don't. But what we do have is Aaron Glenn. We do know what we have in terms of their general manager. We do know that the key pieces are in place in terms of our skill position player, and that would be Breece Hall. Yeah. So look, this is it ain't gonna get any better. It won't. He's priced absolutely phenomenally right now. Where he's going, ADP of the 3rd round. It's someone that I'm targeting. Again, I would be doubling down. I was big on Breece last season, and by all accounts, again, by all good measures, in a 16-game sampling, he wasn't that far off from the previous season. All right, also in this tier, JX is Mr. Let 'em Cooks. Not Dalvin, but James. Kenny Skywalker. And then Joe Mixon. Joe Mixon finding himself into a pretty good tier of running backs. But as we're getting to the James Cooks, as we're getting to Kenny Walker and Joe Mixon, we're now talking about guys that are kind of sort of teetering around this late third. Well, I've got Kenny Scott. Well, I've got it actually. I got James Cook in this mock draft that we just did this past Friday, Goats. I got James Cook went right after Breece Hall, and oh my Lord, Kenny Skywalker fell in this draft.
Understandable.
Yeah, this is a steal for Kenny. This was a steal for this team that took Kenny Walker in the 5th round ADP. Wow.
There's only 2 running backs right now, and I believe we're getting close to the tier to talk about the other guy. But I feel like Kenneth Walker is tied to a string to Charbonnet, like tied to a string. Like, and for me, that's actually bringing him down almost. Like Charbonnet is almost like an anchor because you can't trust Kenneth Walker to not get injured. He's just so good, but so like you just can't stay on the field, and I can't keep rolling the dice on Kenny Skywalker when he just keeps doing the same thing every single time. This is a really high ranking for me for him.
I don't think I like Walker, and they're going to run him. They won't be run heavy this year, and they're going to have to be run heavy probably too to protect Darnold. And if Milroe does start, I like Walker. I know the injuries are there.
If
Now James Cook, 18 touchdowns, I don't think that's sustainable. I think there'll be a drop off in that. So I would probably take Walker over Cook.
James Cook, what a fantastic season! Absolute monster, 18 touchdowns, and you are 200% correct, Commissioner. I am fully with you. We're not going to see that amount of touchdowns again. We also have an absolutely crowded running back room if you're going to include Josh Allen in there. Now, James Cook, again, by all measures, forget about statistically. We're talking about a really talented running back. We're talking about a guy that is a good receiving running back. Much like Breece Hall, this is what we want. We want guys that are that can be relied upon to catch the football.
And what happens? What happens if he isn't signed? If he isn't signed by the beginning of the season, if any kind of little nick, a little twinge in my hammy, I'm going to sit out because he's going to want to protect himself. Kind of like how T. Higgins was last year. You know. If he feels any kind of twinge or anything like that, I think he'll sit out. So,
I still think James Cook's a potential trade candidate.
Yeah.
When you have a quarterback like Josh Allen, everyone is expendable.
True.
Yeah, everyone's expendable. I mean, James Cook is good. Don't be wrong, but he's not that much of a difference maker for me. For him to be a headache in my locker room and a headache on my team. If he wants to get paid, I understand that, but there's a certain price tag that you have to abide by if you want to stay here.
I don't see any teams rushing to give out running back contract extensions right now.
They're not.
Really don't. And James Cook doesn't have that luxury of just like jerking around in camp because again, you've got other running backs. You've got Ray Davis, who looked really good in his with the snaps that he got. Then you've got their third down pass catching specialist, which kind of chews into James Cook as well. Let's not forget about Mr. Generational, who's probably sitting somewhere on like their taxi squad, but there is no taxi squad in the NFL. I'm sure maybe Frank Gore's still on the team. I don't know if they released him or not, but they have a lot of running backs. I don't.
He's on the team, yeah. He's on the team, yeah.
Josh Allen, again, like this is a team that has. I don't think that they're in any bit of a rush to give James Cook 3-4 year contract extension, just like the Jets aren't in a rush to give Breece Hall the same amount of money. Kenny Walker's playing on the final year of his contract right now. The funny thing about Kenny Walker, and Brent's pointing this out to me, or had the light bulb go off my head. Both him and Breece Hall came out in 2022. Breece Hall didn't get really a lot of reps because he had Michael Carter Jr. in the beginning of the season, but then Breece Hall came like shot out of a cannon.
Yeah.
Then tore his knee up all over the place as a rookie. Kenny Walker didn't start the season right away. They wanted, I think, an oblique injury kept him out, but that's not really what kept him out. It was Rashad Penny. Yet then Rashad Penny went down right on cue, as we all knew he was going to, by the way, and then entered Kenny Skywalker. So these guys got very similar parallels. It's very interesting.
It is.
I play my main home league is an auction keeper. Okay, in 2022, I stole Kenny Skywalker for $7. I stole Garrett Wilson for like $13 out of a $350 imaginary budget. Okay, I'm a Kenny Walker guy. I am. I've followed his career, okay, and I've been saying he's a capable pass catcher. They ought to utilize him more in the passing game. Well, we saw that last year.
Mm-hmm.
We saw that, but then we also saw him on the sideline too. It's a problem. Yes.
There's no doubt. There's no doubt that Kenny is a top 5 talented running back in the NFL. There's no question about that. I truly believe he'll be fighting for top 3 best running back in the NFL if he could stay healthy. But it's just hard for me to not think like I'd rather have Zach Charbonnet. I much rather have Zach Charbonnet to clean me up in the middle of the season than to go all in on Kenny and get disappointed again.
God, Zach Charbonnet, when he did get the go, looked a lot better. Also, looked like again, like in between the tackles, monster. We should note this mock draft that I'm looking at right now. I guess this would be considered a zero build, considering this was the team's first running back in this round. He did select Zach Charbonnet in the 10th round, which is a good move. Because again, Kenny Walker always gets these like little nagging injuries. Nothing ever catastrophic, but still, the talent is there. The talent is there. Kenny Walker's got to learn not to always want to try to hit a home run. That's the best way I can do it. I mean, that's a lot of his issue also. He's always looking to hit a home run. Sometimes it's good. Sometimes it's okay to take the 3.5 yard per carry as opposed to trying to take it to the house. Although we love it when the running backs do take it to the house, but sometimes it's okay not to. Kenny Skywalker in the 5th round ADP, guys. I'd be okay with that. I'd be really okay with that as my running back 2 if I were drafting with a hero RB up top.
Right.
But for a 0 RB, I guess you kind of have to take him there, or you could wait to leave him a little bit longer and wait for someone like Chuba. Chuba Hubbard is in the next tier. Alvin Kamara, James Conner, David Montgomery. I mean, this tier is just depressing as far as I'm concerned. This tier depresses me, with the exception, we've got David Monty coming after James Conner. Then we got a Marion Hampton. Then it's Aaron Jones. Then it's Tony Pollard. Then it's DeAndre Swifty. And then not that Swifty, but DeAndre Swifty. Rhino, who do you like? Who do you like here? Who do you not like here? I mean, are you drafting Alvin Kamara?
No, I'm not. I'm drafting Connor if he's there. If I need a running back.
What if
you guys are breaking my heart right now. You're not drafting Alvin Kamara?
No.
What if
you're not the guy who the only old guy who doesn't have mileage, you're not drafting him. The guy who can catch 80 balls, you're not drafting him?
I am not drafting him.
And I'm glad we finally got here. I'm stoked we finally got here because how can we justify Joe Mixon, Kenneth Walker above Alvin Kamara? He was a top 5 running back last year. What changed? What changed to where now he's the 19th ranked running back? He got an offensive coordinator that knows how to utilize the best player. Kellen Moore utilized the best player on his team better than anyone. There's no fall off in the amount of receptions that he's going to get. There's going to be no fall off on the rushes he gets. But the fact that
they don't have that many weapons, so they'll be hyper on him.
That's what JX is licking his chops with that.
I mean, that you said they don't have you said they don't have that many weapons. You said they don't have the skill players. That sounds like 7 Alvin Kamara catches to me. That sounds like 7 catches, 12 rush attempts, 80 total yards, and 1 touchdown a game. That's what that sounds like to me on a weekly basis. Because do you think Spencer Rattler or Tyler Shaw or who's even the other guy? Do you think they're going to rely on Chris Olave, or do you think they're going to be dumping the ball to Alvin Kamara? I think they're going to be dumping the ball to Alvin Kamara quite a bit.
They might be. I'm
Yeah,
not going to take that chance.
yeah. Yeah, I'm not willing to take that chance either with this back. He is coming off of a pretty decent or above decent season, but let's not forget we can always count on the Alvin Kamara absolute smash spike weeks that come in spurts. Week 2, I believe he had a 4 touchdown game, and that might have been inflating his overall on a per game basis ranking.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the running back room, it's not proven.
I want to ask for you guys, is it the age?
A little bit the age, yeah.
I'm gonna get to that, yeah.
And I like Devin Neal.
Okay, no, I understand that.
And they're not married. Kamara's not. He wasn't the person they drafted. They drafted Devin Neal. You know what I mean? Does that make any sense? So they're not married. They're not married to Kamara. And plus, the one thing too is the fact that they're in salary cap hell, and that's one way to get rid of the salary is either trade him
if they can.
So you don't think that trading him doesn't even eventually elevate him potentially? Because he's not. I would assume that they do right by him. They wouldn't just trade him to the I don't know, the Jaguars or anything. They would be doing right, but I would see that they traded him to
the Cowboys.
The Cowboys or someone that's going to utilize his talents to basically squeeze all of the juice out of the lemon, all the juice out of the orange, to where that he may explode. He could. So you're saying he's playing his way out of New Orleans into a better spot, and then
could be,
he can eventually. I mean, I just don't see a lose situation with drafting him.
Trading him to the Broncos.
Oh God! Oh my God! If he went to the Broncos.
No.
Oh, if he went to the Broncos.
That'd be terrible. I mean, again, yes, he's a multi-talented player, but he has never cracked 1,000 yards rushing. Yes, he makes it up in the air.
Has that stopped him from being a top 5 finisher?
No, because especially in PPR, no, exactly. It hasn't. Okay? Again, Rhino may not draft him. Rhino may look at someone else. We could certainly understand why those that are drafting, those that are playing this beautiful game, would absolutely add him. Again, he's 30 years old. The team is not very good. They're not projected to do very well. Their O-line is suspect. Yeah, there's a lot of kind of sort of red flags, although Kamara himself has shown us a consistent body of work. So on one hand, yes, you've got a pretty decent 30-year-old, above decent 30-year-old. On the other hand, you've got all these other let me go look for someone else. Who else is on the board?
See, now I would personally draft Tony Pollard. I'd draft Tony Pollard over Kamara.
Oh. No.
Mr. Magic Goat coming in hot, baby. The Magic Goat is coming in hot. Kamara's going to break the receptions record for a running back. Book it.
Commissioner almost gave me a heart attack on
wait. Okay, hold on.
YouTube. He said he'd take Tony Pollard.
I'd take Tony Pollard over Kamara, yeah.
I just don't think
he rushes and receives. He's going to be heavy rush.
This isn't your typical 29-year-old running back. This is a. I don't think we've ever seen a situation like this. Have we seen a situation like this where a running back is older in age, but he doesn't have the physical mileage of a 29-year-old, 30-year-old workhorse, right? I don't know how many times we've seen this to really compare to say it's safe or not, but I just feel like it's a real safe upside for like what are you talking about? Running back being drafted, running back 18. What round are we talking about? 7, 6?
Hey,
Look,
And throw away the
I
key.
am who I am,
Magic.
Mr.
Throw away the
Magic.
key.
look
I
at
am who I am.
look at this. Look at his targets. 89 targets, 68 catches, 543 with 2 touchdowns. I mean, look for a running back. I mean, I don't even know if you want to call him a running back. He did finish 10 only on 228 attempts. That's bad for a running back. 228 attempts. I don't know about bad. It's not great. 4.2 yards attempt. That's not bad. That's not bad at all.
That's with the battle line.
It's just his rushing efficiency though. It's only 6 touchdowns. I get it. A 30-year-old who doesn't have. He may not. I think what you were trying to come with, JX, is maybe he doesn't have a lot of tread on the tire. Is that what you were trying to say before?
Yeah. So he doesn't. So he's not like. I'll even say it like this, right? So when Saquon turns 29 and 30, we're gonna stomp super hard on the brakes. Like we're gonna be like, whoa, like that's scary. Like, but for somebody who like you said, he hasn't ran for 1,000 yards, so he doesn't have those rushing attempts like those 200s, 250s. That's not how he was used his whole career. So he should have a little more longevity. What I want to compare it to is, and I wish but like, what did Darren Sproles look like around this age? Like, was he still pretty competent? Like, I'm not saying he wasn't like top tier, but this, like I said, this is even more like we've never seen this before. Like we don't know.
DX just jumped in a hot tub time machine.
Darren, if my memory serves, he started off on like special teams, though. You know what I mean? Like he was like a specialized type of player, and then as he got more into the career, he did get more, or he did carve out more of a role as a running back. Yeah. Again, look, I see both sides of this coin. I do. Mr. Magic's like, oh yeah, he loves Alvin Kamara, yet Alvin Kamara, wasn't around for him when he needed Alvin the most. Well, of course, Mr. Magic knows that you can't. Don't let bias stop you from drafting him again. If you really believe, as JX does, that freaking Alvin Kamara is gonna have a 17-game season. He's going to keep up the same pace on terms of targets, receptions, rushing. I don't think he's going to really outperform this ADP. The problem is it could get worse. I think it could get worse.
It could get worse.
It could get worse if he misses more time. Yeah, it could get worse if Kendrick Miller is on the field. Yeah, it could get worse if Devin Neal's on the field. It could get worse. Those are the scenarios where it could get worse. He misses time, or the other backs carve out more snaps. I don't think at the very best, I think Alvin Kamara would just hover around that ADP. It's not terrible. His contract is hefty. Yeah, could he get traded midway into the season? Possibly. We just spoke. Yeah, possibly. And yeah, that contract is disgusting. How about Chuba?
I like Chuba.
Right below Alvin Kamara. Where did Chuba go in our latest draft? Our latest FantasyGoats draft.
He is so underrated. It's not even funny. And he's just been producing. He produces. He just goes about his business, runs.
Chuba Hubbard went 5.2. Okay, he went 1, 2, 3 running backs after Alvin Kamara. So 2 others were taken, Marion Hampton, RJ Harvey. and then Chuba Hubbard. I think there's just like an overall bias on Chuba Hubbard and the Carolina Panthers, and it's just like it's not very sexy. I don't know.
Yeah,
Chuba, right?
his issue. He's boring, and I think I said this last show
Yes,
too.
you
Like
did. Yes, you did.
he's boring. He gets you 22 carries, 110 yards, and a touchdown, and he's like, oh, he's solid. But he didn't give you the Sports Center highlight. He didn't jump over the safety
Chuba.
backwards. He didn't juke 14 guys out their shoes. He just
Right.
did his job exceptionally well. And for a lot of people, that's just not good enough for them taking the top 10.
And then
But
plus they picked up Rico Suave as a backup running back. How much could he possibly eat into carries and stuff? I think Chuba will still be fine, but that's something else that people are going to have to start think about too.
Over 1,000-yard rusher last season with the Cowboys. No one would really say that the Cowboys had a really, really good offensive line, but nor does Carolina right now. Although Carolina's offensive line, one would argue, if I look at PFF right now, I'm almost willing to say that I'm almost willing to say that Carolina's O-line is better.
Yeah, Carolina's offensive line is very good.
Again,
especially the interior guys.
A lot of this has to do with some of that bias. Yeah, Chuba Hubbard, again, if you want to lump Rico Dowdle into the discussion in terms of could he possibly steal touches away from Chuba Hubbard, it's possible. I don't really see that. I see Rico Dowdle being there for some serious insurance, considering the swing and miss that they took last year.
And then they drafted Travis Etienne too, who could come in as a passing down back.
Yeah.
Travis or Trevor?
Trevor.
It's probably the same guy. Trying to restart his career somewhere else. Yeah, no, I'm Team Chuba. I really am. I really am, especially if the Panthers perform much better offensively.
Mm-hmm.
They move the ball more efficiently with Tet, with Xavier, all dependent on Bryce Young. Then I think Chuba Hubbard's going to have more opportunity. And the only thing with James Conner, who's also right in this tier, James Conner went right after Chuba in this draft. The thing with James Conner, he's been reliable these last few years. He's been kind of like okay, but we're all holding our breath that the next big injury with him is going to come.
And plus, he has Trey Benson sitting right behind him, and they're already talking about they're going to get him more involved because he showed flashes last year.
Are we taking James Conner or Alvin Kamara?
If you had a gun to my head,
yeah,
Alvin Kamara.
Okay, thank you. She's okay.
No, I'll take James Conner.
Oh my gosh!
No, just kidding. Just kidding. I take Kamara.
Oh yeah, and this tier is really funny that way, because the tier seems is a combination of guys who are injury riddled and have a high level backup who could take the job.
Yeah.
Like I said with Trey Benson, I've drafted Trey Benson quite a few times, just because of the fact of if James Conner gets hurt, their offensive line is quietly very good as well.
Yeah.
Their offensive line was 11th in run block win rate, which is crazy because you don't think about the Cardinals that way, but they're pretty tough. They're physical. They can run the ball and they like to run the football.
You know what else is quiet with the Cardinals? But maybe not to us and not to the Goats. Their defense is fucking supposed to be filthy this season.
It could be.
They improved their defense big time, man.
Their defense. So if we are correct and their defense is going to be elite, that offense is going to be on the field more. But again, I don't know if they're going to. again, we're talking about a 30-year-old running back. He does have an injury history, barring he was okay last year and for the most part the year prior, but he does have a little bit of a checkered history. And a 30-year-old running back, much like Alvin Kamara, I don't know. I don't really want any part of them. But Mr. Magic wants to know if we're fading James Cook because of the situation with his contract and how he wants a new one. I'm not necessarily fading him because of that. I didn't fade Jamar Chase last season with his contract, but I'm not fading him because of that. I'm going to fade him because he's not going to replicate that amount of touchdowns again.
Exactly. That's all it is.
I would still draft him though, because even if he drops down to 12 touchdowns,
I would want his running back to production at the right price. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Without question. David Montgomery. No, actually, before we get to Monty, hold on a second. So this is where the ADP kind of skewed. I feel like Joe Mixon did fall here into the 5th round. Joe Mixon actually went right after James Conner. Then we've got Quinshon Judkins. I love it, baby. Love it. Joe Mixon, Quinshon Judkins. You've got Mr. Old Reliable versus new rookie. They want to run that mother-loving out of the football in Cleveland. They may not have a choice to in Cleveland. Joe Mixon's walking around with a boot right now.
I'm fading Joe Mixon. I mean, if he's there in the 8th or 9th round, then yeah, I'll probably draft him, but not in the 5th or 6th round. I don't trust because you have Nick Chubb, you still have Damian Pierce, and you have Woody Marks. There.
We got Woody Marks.
I know our other goat who's not here tonight made a comment about when I said that he lost some efficiency last year because he was running the ball so much. He still lost efficiency, and he really didn't do too much to freaking improve their offensive line.
No, they didn't. They didn't. First and foremost, week 1's going to be bad for the Houston Texans. We'll just say that.
When they play in the Rams?
Oh, how'd you guess? That was a great guess. You're one of one. You're one of one, sir.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
But
it'll be a bad day at the office for the Texans week 1. Okay.
It will. But no, 281 carries in 14 games for Joe Mixon. And they're adding Nick Chubb and Woody Marks. So they traded up. They're traded up for Woody Marks.
Yes, they did.
So it's only naturally that he's going to get less touches. And like I said, the combination of him being inefficient, because let's be honest, Joe Mixon's been inefficient running back his whole career. Mm-hmm. He just has had the volume. So if he doesn't have the volume anymore, we can't look at him to be ranked 14 running back.
I was looking at some of the older shows yesterday when me and AB were talking about running backs off the combine and the East-West Shrine game. Woody Marks freaking averaged 8.6 yards a carry his last year at SC. When he went, the first time that he actually had was a full running back load, running and catching.
8 down a carry, 8 point a catch.
No, it was a carry.
A carry? The game?
Would
quite a number.
Yeah.
Would you take a Marion Hampton over Mixon?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Even with a Najee Harris there.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Joe Mixon, who's been doing it for a while now, and he looked really good last season. Granted, he is walking with a boot now on June 16th. Yes, they did draft Woody. Yes, they just brought in Nick Chubb to make the running back room stronger. Marion Hampton still the guy?
Yeah.
How about Quinshon?
Yes.
I don't
Yes.
know.
We don't have the Rhino sold on Quinshon Judkins. It's amazing to me.
Just because I'm reading so much stuff from different accounts here and there. And now it's starting to get in my head a little bit where they're talking about Dylan Sampson, where they're saying that he can actually be the 3 down back.
You
I'm
know,
not buying that, but what if? What if they they run it like that, like how they had it in Ohio State with
Yeah,
Trayvon Henderson and Junkins?
yeah, and I actually do think it's going to be more that case where they'll go with the hot hand in
Hmm.
Cleveland. I do think that's the truth, but I still think that Quinshawn will have the better weeks throughout the whole season
Okay.
than Dylan, and for that reason, I would take Quinshawn Junkins over Joe Mixon.
Yeah, I
I'm
guess
fading I'm fading Joe
yeah,
Mixon
over
pretty
Joe
hard.
Mixon. Yeah, because the running back room isn't as crowded either.
Yeah.
four running backs we're taking in the 6th round. Okay, we're back to back to back to back. David Monty, Isaiah Pacheco comes in at 6.7, little high, but I get it. Travion Henderson, the second Ohio State running back, rookie running back. Aaron Jones, 6.9. Out of those four,
Henderson.
Not Henderson.
not Henderson.
Yeah, Henderson. 100%.
No. Who do? So I mean, I've been kind of conflicted with Pacheco because he left a bad taste in our mouth towards the end of the season, but they didn't get anyone to replace him. They didn't bring any immediate pressure to him. I'm one of the biggest fans of the Brashard Smith that there is, but there's no immediate pressure to Isaiah Pacheco. I just think they bought Kareem Hunt back because it was comfortable, but Isaiah Pacheco still looks like he's the guy in line.
And Elijah Mitchell too. They signed in the offseason.
Oh yeah, they got a lot of Elijah Mitchell, but even still,
Probably needs to make the team, but still,
Yeah.
another guy. The thing with Kareem Hunt that I'd like to add is he seems to have a nose for the end zone, and we
Hmm.
know that he's going to be on the field. Isaiah Pacheco, look, by all accounts, again, he was on a tear. He was on a heater. He looked fantastic until he got injured.
mm-hmm.
Is he going to is he going to return to that form? It's possible. He could very well be a 6th round running back right now. If again, there's no way in God's green fantasy world if Isaiah Pacheco didn't get injured last season and what he was on pace for, there's no way in hell he would have been in the 6th round right now. He would have been up where he'd be where Devon A. Chain and Jonathan Taylor are now.
Yeah, he'd be right there in the second.
Right. So I mean, what's got us all skittish that Isaiah Pacheco's dropped because of the injury? That's the only. It's got to be.
Yeah, that's it. He came back. He came back too fast. He looked bad.
He looks bad.
He just left a bad taste in everyone's mouth.
It's one of those things too. Once preseason starts, we start seeing them actually run in pads and everything. Then where he's at right now, it could go up, it could go down. See, I like Henderson the best because I think he has Ramondre Stevenson in front of him, but he's not tied to that coaching staff like Trayvon Henderson. Trayvon Henderson could be the 3 down back for New England. He has a clearer road to more touches. Trayvon Henderson is my RB1 of this draft class.
Yes, that we know. You are on record.
Mm-hmm.
Any of the goats right now can go to our NFL draft series. Check out the show. Check out where Rhino has Trayvon Henderson basically everywhere. I got in on Quinshawn Judkins a little late. I don't want to spend too much time on Quinshawn Judkins. I believe in his draft capital. I am nervous about Isaiah Pacheco. I'm nervous about David Montgomery. I don't need to be nervous about Aaron Jones because I'm just going to pass on him. I'll pass on him and I'll sit back and I'll wait a little bit longer and hopefully I could just absolutely smash Caleb Johnson right there in the 7th. That's what I would do. That's what I would do.
My favorite strategy for any one of those guys is like a running back hero type build. You know, 2 running backs, first, second round, and then you wait till the seventh. The one of these guys kind of falls. Take them, and those are all your running backs for the draft.
You're absolutely. I love it because I kind of did that last year. I did that when it came down to drafting Brees Hall. Then okay, picks later. Then it went to Chase Brown, and then Jaleel McLaughlin, and then like just a
Mhm.
bunch of like other running backs, and hopefully one of them sticks. So
Yep.
yeah, I am for that. I do buy into that. And there are teams that build like that too. Not it doesn't look so well. Yeah, over here, Team 10, Team 12, the same team that drafted Kenny Walker at 5.12. Did Tank Bigsby ninth, Zach Charbonnet 10, Jadon Blue 11, Isaac Arendo 12, Braylon Allen 13, Jalen Wright 14. Hoping that one of these
One of
guys,
them has to hit. One of them does.
hoping that one of these guys, absolutely, if any catastrophic type of injury, anything, yes. All right, Goats. I think we almost covered 36. Top 36. We almost did. Let's see. Yeah, Brian Robinson Jr. I know that Mr. Magic Goat did mention Brian Robinson Jr. earlier. He kind of survived, right? Brian Robinson Jr. is almost like in that DeAndre Swift mold. He kind of survived. They didn't sign anybody. They didn't bring in anybody.
They drafted the kid out of Arizona.
Late. How late was that? That was late.
Yeah,
The
6th round,
seventh round.
6th, 7th round. But he could probably move into the Eckler role.
And they still have Austin Eckler, Brian Robinson Jr. By all accounts, he scored a bunch of touchdowns last season.
And Debo.
He did just again not very efficient though. Not
No,
very.
but I'd take a flyer on him in the 9th or 10th round as my number 4 running back or something.
I can't even trade Brian Robinson right now. That would be in your league, Mr. Commissioner.
Which league?
The Dynasty.
Mhm.
The Dynasty where I have just the absolute.
Okay, so you said that he wasn't. You said he wasn't very efficient, right? Doesn't that kind of scare you with him having Jaden Daniels there? Because usually when you have that threat of a runner at quarterback, you become more efficient, and you're becoming less efficient. That scares me from Brian Robinson quite a bit.
But
Yeah,
the Commanders' offensive line wasn't that good either last year.
It
I
wasn't.
think they did improve some.
I mean, it improved. They got Laramie Tunsil, and I think they got a really good guard too. But I know
Yeah.
their offensive line's a lot better.
two more backs that I want to talk about here. JX and Rhino. One of them happens to be Tyrone Tracy. Ranked 31st. He's got an ADP of the 8th round. 8th round. Yeah. This is a dude that almost cracked 1,000 yards.
Mm-hmm.
We know that he doesn't come in very, very with a whole lot of strong pedigree, but at the same time, he looked good. He showed nice flashes. He did, but big but they drafted somebody. Not that high either, but
Yep.
they drafted Cam Scatterbo in the beginning of the 4th. Might as well have been the 3rd.
You know what I think we fall victim to sometimes? We fall victim to the last thing we get to see is college highlights. Because I had to go back and watch Tyrone Tracy play from this past season. He's pretty impressive, like
Yeah.
the way he runs. And I think that just because the last thing we saw was Cam Scatterbo running through everybody, and it kind of scares us. But from what I'm hearing in camp, and like I said, having to get that remembrance back, I think he's going to be just fine.
I think Trace be fine, just fine too.
And it also seems, I don't know if how much this goes into fantasy. It should, because it goes into football. It seems as though he's got a good head on his shoulders. He's well aware of his surroundings, his environment.
Exactly.
The things that he can control, the things that he cannot control. Okay, so yeah, he's going to, at least he says that he's going to do everything in his power to put himself and the Giants in winning situations. Okay.
And one thing about him too is you got to remember he was a converted wide receiver to running back from Memphis. If my memory serves me right. See, he's only played running back for like maybe 2 years. So
They and they didn't fully take advantage of him as a receiver.
No,
they didn't. And they absolutely could have, but they did not. And that was just a product of how bad the Giants were last year. I think Brian Dable even acknowledges, like, yeah, they haven't even opened that door yet with him. So I believe that, there's going to be, if not the same or equal, greater opportunity for Tyrone Tracy. That does not necessarily mean that we should discount the fact that they did draft Cam Scatterboo. Yeah. Again, the Giants are notorious. All you got to do is just think back to their Super Bowls, having a thunder and a lightning type of guy. Yeah. For fantasy, I think Tyrone Tracy is not bad going where he is. I think Cam Scatterboo is a great pick going where he is in the ninth. Who am I going to take?
Tracy is he's one of those running backs that you're going to start when your top running back is on a bye week, or God forsake, your top running back gets hurt and you got to put him in. He's going to get you points.
I hope
he will.
Yeah,
we'll be calling Tyrone's mom and.
That was so. I'm trying not to absolutely lose it. That's how good that was. JX lost it. I'm it's hurting me just to keep it in because I wasn't expecting. I wasn't expecting.
I don't know why I said that.
I wasn't excited. That's not what I was. That's not what was coming through into the right ear. I don't even know if we could continue. That might be it. Tyrone's mom is playing fantasy with us.
Yep.
One last guy. Ranked number 36 according to the Fantasy Pros expert consensus ranking. Javonte Williams. How do you feel about Javonte Williams? Javonte X.
I don't feel.
Yeah, I don't feel anything. My blood's not beating. It's not. Heart's not moving. My legs are dead.
His legs are dead too.
Yeah. Yeah. His legs are dead.
Or his eyes are dead. One of the two. His legs are good. I think it's his eyes, actually, his vision.
You know what was actually surprising about him though? Last year, I think he was third in receptions by a running back.
Well, yeah, because
I'm not surprised by that.
I mean, I'm
averaging about what, four targets a game, 4 catches a game. I'm not surprised by that based on that offense, based on what he wants to do with that offense. That's why I'm not surprised or won't be surprised when J.K. Dobbins and R.J. Harvey are sharing a backfield 55-45. That's not going to surprise me either. But
where's R.J. Harvey on this list?
He's there. He's right after Travion Henderson.
Yep, 27.
Yeah, how do you feel about R.J. Harvey nowadays? Again, another great video episode that we have on the Fantasy Goats channel, talking about what we expect from R.J. Harvey.
I like R.J. I'm still all in R.J. Harvey.
Yep. 2 feet on the gas on R.J. Harvey. No one, JK doesn't scare me. Nobody.
All gas, no brakes, man.
All gas, no brakes.
I know what I need.
I knew you were gonna do it.
I didn't catch that. I missed that. I'm thinking about Caleb Johnson taking it 60 yards to the house. That's why.
Can we talk about one more guy that
Please.
that's a little mind blowing to me
Please.
down here at 30, 37, 36, depending on the rankings here. Travis Etienne. Is he not good enough for a running back 3 anymore? We're one season removed from him being running back 3 total. So he's not good enough to be a running back 3 anymore. I feel like he's the biggest discount there is.
I think so too.
Why not take a flyer on him?
Especially when you see him taking passes out of the down the sidelines and practice and stuff. I think last year was an anomaly with him.
Exactly. He was battling injury, never was healthy. He played to play. And now he has Liam Cohen, who uses multiple running backs better than anybody.
Mm-hmm. In the right way too.
Yeah, and today you're telling me that he's not good enough to be a running back 3. That doesn't make sense to me.
No, I mean, I got him here at 34. I mean, it's damn. And no. I mean, it's damn close. Might as well be, right?
Yeah.
I'm sitting like to your point. Not a lot of people are talking about this JX, and I think that they should be, or at least they should be considering it, or at least I think the goats should definitely know about this. Travis Etienne, as you mentioned, came into last season RB3 or RB4, but that was all based on his first half of the 2023 season, which is an absolute smash. And then he disappeared.
Oh, absolutely. Yes,
in the second half of that season, he disappeared, and that parlayed into 2024. I'm not about to just like write him off, but at the same time, there's a lot of cause for pause. Emil, Goat, good evening. Goat, how are you? Jennings and Ferguson, and again, Evan Ingram and D-Hop.
Jake Ferguson or Terrence Ferguson?
I like Evan Ingram.
I'm assuming it's Jake Ferguson, probably. But yeah, I would do this.
Yeah, the Terrence and Jake it's 2 different trades.
Yeah.
I'll probably do it either way as well.
Yeah.
I like Evan Ingram.
Jake, so yeah, the D-Hop, that scares me a little bit, but I think Ingram will just make up for that anyways.
It doesn't scare me. It's the throwaway piece that he's just accepting. Exactly. D-Hop is going onto the bench. So the real crux of this trade is sending Juwan Jennings for Evan Ingram. Mm-hmm. I like it. I like that.
Oh, I like it a lot too. Yeah.
A lot.
You may get a good window here with Evan Ingram. At least I want to say 2 seasons. The Joker. How you been, Emil Goat? Mr. Magic Goat. See all these goats that we got?
Yeah, some OGs in the comments tonight.
These are the goats that helped us get to where we are today. Mm-hmm. And we are very excited to almost be at our goal for training camp, which will be 400. If you're just watching us now, please give us a like. Please subscribe. Got plenty of content coming all season, all off season. We're actually here for you 24/7. By the way.
Yep.
I don't know about Discords yet.
No.
But you could damn near ping me, find me on X, and I'm damn near available to you. Practically, when I say 24/7, it's like we take shifts.
Yeah, I got the West Coast shift.
He is the Rhino. The commissioner is the one that you want during like the real daylight hours. Me, I take the night shift into the morning, and JX is just both. And we have the AB Goat. All right. Well, I think we could wrap up now.
Yeah.
I mean, we covered. Did we miss any running backs? I don't
No.
think we missed any.
No.
And we could do something later on about running backs. We'll do flyers on and
I mean,
late round flyers on running backs and wide receivers, tight ends, stuff like that.
you know what? We would be remiss. I'm sorry. I just mentioned Caleb Johnson and how I am big time bullish on this running back for the Steelers. I know, I get it, the Steelers, but we probably should be talking about Jalen Warren also, who's in this tier.
Yeah.
Look, I just like I've been invested in a lot of these running backs for the last several years, I've also been invested in Warren, and I can tell you what Warren isn't. He's not a running back that's going to give you the requisite volume that you need.
Yeah.
If you're fortunate enough to have him in your starting lineup and he does catch that one explosive run or explosive catch, then it was a good week. Those are few and far in between with Jalen Warren. I'm sorry. What is going to help the Jalen Warren people is the fact that he's probably the more experienced out of the two or more competent pass protectors for Aaron Rodgers now. That's what's going to get him onto the field. And you want to speak about listening to the right accounts or the wrong accounts. Rhino, how about the people that are saying that Jalen Warren is in the pole position? That's not accurate.
No. We don't, and plus we don't know who's in a pole position because Arthur Smith is the OC.
It's not accurate. I want that person, I want that account to cite me where they got it from. Therefore, then I can look into it myself and see for myself what the information is.
Yeah.
That's the whole point. I don't need to hear it from nonsense, from garbage out there. Jalen Warren's going to be the featured running back. He may start. He may wind up starting. They didn't just draft this talent out of Iowa, or is it Iowa State? I'm not sure which Iowa. They didn't just draft this dude who
dude could pass block,
who smokes defenses for a living.
For Jalen Warren to start.
Sorry.
Yeah.
That's fool's gold right there. That's fool's gold.
Right.
Jalen Warren be fool's gold.
We will be back tomorrow. Goats, thank you very much for joining us. For JX, for the Commissioner Rhino, for Tyrone Tracy's mom. Thank you. We'll see you tomorrow.
Go Pacers.
See difference, make a difference.